Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Twisted Word Show. And we are back with yet another video. And in this video, we are going to talk about how you, as a writer, can feel confident about everything that you write. Oftentimes, it happens that we write a certain piece, maybe it be a chapter or a poem, and we feel like we just didn't do a very good job, or it's not good, and we're not a good writer, or it just feels like we can't do it, but that's not the case. You have got it and you can do it. And here we are. We're going to tell you, encourage you a little bit more. So, Mariana, please help us get started.
Hello, everybody. Yes, as Yash mentioned, sometimes it's easy not to feel good enough. And like you mentioned, Yash, that there are ways to feel more confident. And the first thing is to write regularly. The more you do it, the easier it will become. So
Yes.
that would be my very first step for today.
Also, when it happens, when you write regularly, you get in that momentum. And every day when you sit to write, you know you have to accomplish this task and then come back the next day and do it all over again and have fun doing it and continue making that progress. And then we have the second tip, which is to seek feedback. You should always, when after you've
Yes.
written something, show it to somebody, show it to a friend. Don't be shy and just hear what they have to say. Maybe they have something good to say to you, and you will feel good about that. If your writing needs development, or there are some critical points that you can get from it, then seek constructive criticism from people who you think, who you believe could give you that. And seeking feedback can be really good to boost your confidence, because when you receive that good feedback, it makes you feel that all your efforts have been paid for, and you feel confident in your work. And Mariana, what the points that you have got for us?
Yes, just on that, when you seek someone to give you feedback, it might not be the best to find a family member to do so, because they might not tell you if there's something wrong with it. Just
More of
find someone with an
the
objective look at it.
the first thing, it would be like the sun will rise in the west if your family members actually read your work.
And then you'll be like, yes, yeah, she's so good at this.
Okay. Uh, and what is our next
So
point, Mariana?
to read a lot. The more you read, the more you will understand the writing process and you will learn from other writers. With that, I don't mean copy them, but learn from them. There are certain steps and skills that you really need to maybe copy the skill and not necessarily the work, if that makes sense. Um, just see how the layout of the story looks, or um, does he write in first person or third person, what works for you, what doesn't. But the only way you'll know what works is if you actually know the variety, and if you understand the differences. So it's good to read. You must read other people's work in order to write better.
Yes, so basically have a writer's eye whenever you're reading something. Try to analyze everything
Yes.
you read and absorb that in and try to implement that into your own writing. And then we have the
Yeah.
next point, which is to set achievable goals. Again, we're back at the same thing. If you are able to achieve your goals, you feel confident, you'll feel a sense of accomplishment, and it will keep you going. So make sure to set achievable goals. If you want to know how to set achievable goals, you can check out our video somewhere over here, and we have already made a video on that. The next point is going to be to accept your imperfections, which Mariana is going to tell us about right now.
Yes. So when you're writing something, you don't have, it doesn't have to be perfect. Your first draft will never be perfect. Um, it's going to need a lot of editing. Doesn't matter how long you've been writing for. So accept that it won't be perfect. And just write it. Like we spoke in one of our other videos, to do the free writing. Just get the story out there, and then you go
Yes.
back and fix what's not perfect.
And also the fact that nobody can really write the very perfect sentence in the very first start, because everybody has a different way of thinking, everybody has a different way of perceiving things, and all of that is going to lead to a different way of writing. So, whatever, however you're writing, don't
Yeah,
think that it is the best sentence or there's a particular way to get it out there. There are infinite ways, and maybe your way is a really beautiful way. And that is what it is. The next point that we have
yeah,
is to keep a writing journal. I really like this point. I haven't tried it myself, but where I've learned it from, I think this is excellent because you're able to keep track of everything that you have done up to a certain point, and that helps you keep track of how you have changed from from when you started till now. When you have a
mm,
writing journal, and also you can note down your accomplishments when you completed a certain chapter, or when you were able to figure out a plot hole, or fix a plot hole and figure out something grand in your story. All of that, you can look back at it and feel like, yes, I did it back then and I can do it now as well.
yeah,
And
exactly.
then, so Mariana, what is the next point that you have?
To study your writing craft. If there's something that you really want to be good at, you're going to study it. Um,
Exactly.
and if you struggle with dialogue, there are so many online um, programs and classes that you can do. You don't have to enroll at a university, or is the options. There are so many to choose
Yes.
from. Just study it, and you will get better at what you're doing if
Obviously.
you do that.
Absolutely. There are so many master classes available for free on YouTube, on
Yes.
so many different ways from your favorite author. Maybe it's out there and you just have to look, and because
Yes,
when you
exactly.
exactly when you learn about it, you really understand it. It gets rooted inside you, and you're able to do it in the very best way. And then it was
Yeah,
the
exactly.
next tip that we have is to embrace your unique voice. Maybe what you're writing is not meant to be the way that you suppose it is meant to be, because however you're writing is your unique style, and that is the only way what you're writing can be expressed. And that is just beautiful because you just have invented your own style. So instead of feeling not confident or feeling bad about your writing, maybe embrace the fact that what you're writing is actually unique. It's something new,
Mm.
and you
Yeah,
should be proud of that, because if somebody says that they like it, then it's going to be a great thing because somebody likes your voice. And
yeah.
which takes us to our next point from Mariana.
Yeah, so the next point is quite an interesting one, because I think most authors have been asked who their target audience is. And I think you shouldn't necessarily write with the audience in mind, but write for yourself. Write something that you like,
Yes,
and other people will probably like it too. So,
exactly.
yes, that would be my next point. Write for yourself.
You don't have to write something that is tailored for the readers. Instead, you have
Yeah,
to write something that will find its readers on its own.
yes,
And the only way you can do that is by writing what's in your heart, what's true to yourself, and writing for yourself, so that people who relate to what you wrote can find your work automatically. The next tip,
exactly.
the next tip is going to be to join some writing communities. Find your buddies. Find the people you can talk about the similar things and hang out and discuss all your problems. Maybe help each other out in the writing things. Read each other's work, make each other feel confident, encourage each other about it. And there are so many groups available on Facebook, I'm sure. There are thousands of people who are in that group, and they post their doubts daily. They post your work daily, and you can comment on them, you can share them, and feel encouraged and feel great about it.
Yeah, exactly. And that brings us to our last point. Um, to read your work out loud. Um, that to me makes perfect sense because sometimes you write a sentence and it looks like you're very clever and it's a brilliant sentence, but when you read it, you find it's actually difficult to read and
Yes,
it doesn't fit in with the flow of the story, or people don't really talk like that. It sounds nice and it sounds clever, but people don't talk like that. Um,
exactly.
so when you read it out loud, or even ask somebody else to read it out loud for you, if you don't want to read it yourself, then you can hear where something doesn't sound right. And I think there are
Yes,
also apps that you can use where the computer can read it back to you. Um,
yes. There's so
so,
many
and it's
apps out there.
brilliant.
Yes.
Yes, so that would be the last tip from me.
Yeah, exactly. And also you can implement this last tip after a certain amount of time, because after some time, whatever you wrote won't be so recent in your mind, and you will have a little bit of a pressure look at what you wrote back then. And if you read it out aloud, then you will be able to have a newer look and a more and a perspective as more a reader than a writer.
Yeah,
So you will
yeah.
know if that is right or not. And that, with that, we complete our many tips that we had to give you to feel confident about your writing. It was awesome coming back on the show, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you very much, everybody. I
Bye bye,
hope you like this
everybody.
one. Bye.